salvation, star of our night, and hope of every nation. Hear and receive of every nation. His supplication, Lord God Almighty. See wrongs thine ark, the hungry billows curling. See how thy foes, their banners are unfurling. Lord, while their darts envenomed they are hurling, thou canst preserve us.
Ancestors, we call on you to fight the fight on our behalf. Ancestors, we call on you to walk on our enemies. Asheo.
All the way from Africa land, they come in. All the way from Africa land, they come in to walk on them. All the way from Africa land, they come in. All the way from Africa land, they come in to walk on them. Walk on them, 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 Yoruba ancestors, 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 walk on them, 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 walk on them. Ancestors, we call on you. Ancestors, we call on you. You came across the middle passage. Ancestors, we call on you. Some are shown up about some are show. Ancestors, we call on you. From this land of Trinidad, great warriors, we call on you. Walk on them, 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 Yoruba ancestors, 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 walk on them. All the way from Africa land, they come in. All the way from Africa land, they come in to walk on them. All the way from Africa land, they come in. All the way from Africa land, they come in to walk on them. Great mother, we call on you. Iwer, we call on you. Your children crying, screaming. For great mother, we call on you. When we bought this libation, we stood up for the nation. From the four corners of Trinidad, great mothers, we call on you. Walk on them, 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 Yoruba ancestors, 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 walk on them. All the way from Africa land, they come in. All the way from Africa land, they come in to walk on them. All the way from Africa land, they come in. All the way from Africa land, they come in to walk on them.
me bold. It is you I'm talking to. Yes, you child. From the journey you can't get away. Ancient rhythm is here to stay. So go back and show the people the ancient rhythm inside of you. To the ancient rhythm, make them move. To the ancient rhythm, make them move. To the ancient rhythm, move to the ancient rhythm. To the ancient rhythm, make them move. To the ancient rhythm, they got to move. To the ancient rhythm, to the drumming of the queen of the ancient rhythm.
I see mother. I see she.
Yo, Alex.
Ibo je, Ibo mo, ogun waniwe.
Wolewa. Wolewa egungun. Ibao. Woleo. Persecution, horrors, wolewa. When they try to oppress me, humiliate and stop me, wolewa. I pour libation and send my supplication into the spirit realm. Wolewa. Wolewa. I'm standing strong, never will they let me down, wolewa. They see my tears, they feel my pain. With patience I'll rise again, wolewa. I must stay focused to fulfill my purpose, and I will conquer all. Hear us. Come on, hear
nation back and I'll die away. In short, this is what I have to say. Let us forget spites and grudges and concentrate. Come, let us sit and try to relate. Because now, more than ever, we must show discipline, tolerance, and production to build a strong and better nation. I say that is the main foundation. So come, let us work hand in hand, because this is our land. Come, my brother, come, my sister, and let us build a nation together. Oh, yeah. Remember, the key to success is working hard. For our country we must have regard. Forget all your differences, let we start to build. And onward to progress we surely will. Because now, more than ever, we must show discipline, tolerance, and production to build a strong and better nation. I say that is the main foundation. So come, let us work hand in hand, because this is our land. Come, my brother, come, my sister, and let us build a nation together.
Education, education, this is the foundation. Our rising population needs sound education to be recognized anywhere you go. Have your certificate to show, to enjoy any kind of happiness. Knowledge is the key to success. Children go to school and learn well. Otherwise, later on in life, you gon' catch real hell. Without an education in your head, your whole life will be pure misery. You're better off dead. For there is simply no room in this whole wide world for an uneducated little boy or girl. Don't allow idle companions to lead you astray. To earn tomorrow, you got to learn today.
We are here once again on the Iwer Way of Life program on the Street 919 FM. We are streaming live on the Street 919 FM Facebook page, also streaming live on YouTube on Iwer TV. And tonight, our program, we are going to discuss education and children, who are our children of the nation of Trinidad and Tobago, who will be doing the SCA and the CSEC. We are going to discuss the Orisha involved in education. As you know, different denominations, different sectors have their rituals, they have their prayers going on, because the children, I'm not going to say kids is good, right? So we are going to say the correct word, children. Our children are about to go out to do SCA and the CSEC, you know. So we are paving the way and we are bringing the information to you, the public listening audience, and the viewing public and the viewing audience, because they are streaming on Facebook, media platforms. So I'm going to leave, if you look, those of you streaming on Facebook, I have given Shaka the lead tonight. He's the man there. I'm here at his side because you know how things happen. So I have 3 beautiful ladies from the Ifa Orisha community here with me tonight, and you know, woman is power. Mother Earth, woman, the most important thing that constitutes to the balance of life. You know, so without her there, I will just leave Shaka to give the IBA, and then I'll play the ads, because you know, and I keep saying we need to sponsor what is ours, because we are on mainstream radio, main time, and we need Jib by Jib to fully bucket to sponsor the program. It's not free. We tend to support all different things that don't concern us and concern us. And this program, one of the most powerful spiritual programs in Trinidad and Tobago, you know, as we are about to make 2 years on national radio. We give thanks to the Trini Bassman family for giving us. I'd like to say special good night to our mother Angie St. Paul. I know you'll put up your CG just now concerning sponsorship for the program. Judy James, you know, Alison Baines, all locked on. So Jib by Jib, the money's not going to me. You can make it out to go straight to Trini Bashmed Limited. We'll put up that shortly. So without that clearance, I now hand you over to King Shaka. He's going to lead you all with the IBA.
Kali everyone, Ekabo, welcome to the Ifa Orisha Way of Life, live on the Street 919. Before we do anything, it's always incumbent on us as people, as children of Orisha, to pay homage.
Ben.
According to Iwer, before we do anything, we pay homage to Olodumare.
Yes.
According to Ifa states and Okara Onwari that Olodumare is the universal spirit, that universal essence that spreads all over our universe. So when I say Iba, it simply means I pay homage. So I say Iba Olodumare. Iba Awon Ori, Iba to our Ori, Iba to our mothers, Iba to our fathers, Iba to one's ancestors whose shoulders we stand upon. Iba to my Uluwo Haraba de Wale Osho, my Ianifa, Ye Agbomola Ulumi Tutu Ida Oshun. Iba to my Ojubana, Baba Opakona Ifakoya. And Iba to one's Ianifa, one's Ujubana, and one's Uluwa as well. We pay homage to Barami Agbonirigun, or Mela, or Witness to Faith and Destiny. We pay homage to Yeye Oshun, Ore Yeo, Omio, Otao, Edao, Erio, Agbao, Mokore Yeye for Oshun. We pay homage to Baba Yeshu, Yeshu, the one who stands at the crossroads. Yeshu Lalu, Okirioko, Okorin Orita, Baba Yeshu. Please, don't allow us to be confused. We pay homage to Ogun, Ogulakaye, Oshimale, Baba Ogun, the defender of women and children. Baba Ogun, please continue to clear our pathway on this day. We pay homage to Bogbo Orisha. We pay homage to this land of Trinidad and Tobago. And we pray and ask that as we start our session on the Ifa Orisha Way of Life, may we impact positively and pay due diligence to our destinies. May we continue to fulfill our traditional rights in the best and the possible way. May those who are locked down at this space and time, may the blessings of Olodumare impact positively on your lives. Those who may be here in the hospitals at this time, we send healing towards you. Those who are on the streets at this time, we pray that your Ori rise above, you know, whatever circumstance you may be faced with at this point in time. And those who are even at home and facing some sort of depression and all of these things, may your Ori rise above these things. So we ask all of this in the name of Olodumare. Ashe, 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 Ashe.
So we are going to now play the ads by our sponsors here on the Ifa Orisha Way of Life program on the Sheet 919 FM. Sponsors for the Orisha Way of Life. Kamara's Quality Store, the #1 importer and supplier of genuine products from Africa, located at Adams Bazaar Main Road, Shogunas. Contact number 672-8438, 320-8866. Gossip Gel Polish, gel with a difference. Contact number 3827587. Come, let us take care of your feet, Petty by Risi. They also sell butters. Contact number 3984474. Nubian Experience, clothing that tells part of our rich African history. Number 6 Woodford Street, Arima. Contact number 6881979. Oriumi, Nico Loggins, Health and Wealth Lifestyle. Number 73 Eastern Main Road, Barataria. EMG out of Texas. Richie's Tire and Automotive Car Care Center. Number 409 Otello Drive, Hampton, Georgia. Sponsors for the IFA Orisha Way of Life.
Also sponsored by the Throne of Gold for all your African supplies and clothing. Their contact number is 754-5128. That is the Throne of Gold. You can find them on Facebook and also on Instagram. Omo Inu, All Things Woman. For all your Yoni products, they are the sole women's haven distributor for Trinidad and Tobago. Their contact number is 365-4332. You can find them on Facebook and also on Instagram. Black Tie-Dye Catering Service, 683-8755. You can find them on Facebook and Instagram. Awo Wabande Tonic, 388-4606. You can find them on Facebook and also on Instagram. Ile Josio Turameji, Awo Oshun. Thank you.
Yes, also we have the Olokun Business Solutions for all landscaping and maintenance needs. Contact number 482-3111. Abayale Spiritual Store, Edinburgh 500 Shogunas. Contact numbers 373-2746. We also have Yorisha School of Enlightenment, Tenziga Reed. You know, so we are about to begin. And I'll leave the ladies to the ears, the ENE5s, you know, to lead us in the discussion tonight. Ladies, it's your floor.
Hi, good night.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.
Firstly, I want to thank you guys for having us on. We are the IFA Foundation Caribbean Organization. And tonight's program is really dedicated to the children who are about to write SCA exam on the 31st of March. And CSEC during the May-June period. The reason why the IFA Foundation, we were so excited about having this program is because we realized that we recognize in our discussions that all of the tradition during this period of exam time, they hold something for their children.
Yes.
At least to show that show their children that 1, they are appreciated, 2, to do their best, 3, to focus on spirituality because that is the way to everything else. And 4, that they know who have their backs. Our children, because we don't have our own schools, our children are filtered out throughout the education system.
Yes.
And as such, they have to go and participate in what is given to them. So I want to encourage the IFA Orisha Way of Life to partner with us so that every year we could do just a special program for children who write an exam. I want you all to consider it, to write an exam. We prepare one special program just for them, just to say prayers for them, to wish them the best, and to give them strategies and tips, just like this program that we're doing here. So I hope you all will consider it.
Sure.
Not a problem. Because anything to edify and educate our community and support our people. You gotta remember, you know, not cutting into all the time. You gotta remember, we were stifled.
Yes.
Our ancestors of yesterday who shoulders and backs, who cleared the way for us, that we are able to be here on mainstream radio at this time, speaking freely. They have opened the door for us. So we need to take advantage of the opportunity because, as I said, it's not directed to anybody else, but every other religious group pays their homage, proselytization and salutations and give their children that upliftment. You know, so we need to seek our own interests.
Yes, exactly.
You know, Shaka?
Benny.
Yes.
And as if I say in H. Yogbe, planning is what brings success.
Yes.
There's an essay in Ifa that says, Ifa, I know not how to plan. It is what you consider for me is what I consider good and proper. So that means that organizations must put mechanisms in place to ensure that their children are well able to stand up within this system that we have. And as well as Ifa tells us in Oyeku Obara, that we as parents and we as citizens, we must do we must do sacrifices for our children.
Yeah, sure.
Because if we don't do these things, certain things could befall them. And it's not to frighten anyone. You must do sacrifices to ensure that your children are well able to stand up in this society.
Sure.
So as much as other groups would have their prayers, even in one domestic domain. Long ago, our ancestors used to bathe our children and send them out. Simple things.
Sometimes they used to have prayers, and you will see just before exams, you will see them say, bring your copybooks, bring your notebook, bring your pencils, let me bless them so that the children will do well. That's what I mean Baptists used to do it. That's what we grew up on. So you're bringing your pen and everything for them to
when you leave the house, you go straight, you don't talk to nobody. Good morning, sir. Good morning, mama.
Don't talk to nobody.
And also to some of the simple things that I remember back in the day they used to do too. It's simple thing like putting a light for the child.
Yeah.
Putting a white light, a white candle, and you say your prayers every day so that, they will open their mind so that they can remember the work and stuff like that. I think in this turn of the century, things have changed, and we have to adapt to the environment now. And that's why we have the virtual world and we have these platforms.
Yes.
Right? To offer up prayers, to offer up petitions for children to do well, right? One of the things that the foundation, the first time when we came here, we told you all the message the foundation got with the schools and stuff like that. So we've been doing a lot of those kind of work towards the anticipation of these goals that we have to realize.
Yes.
Right? And some of the things that we're going into, again, we're trying to find out the number of people who are Ifa Orisha devotees. So one of the things that we're going into the statistics, we have partnered with the Cropper Foundation, and they also is helping us to gather the data so that we would decide from the census the number of people in the community who are Ifa Orisha devotees. And there are a number of people outside there who don't attend Ilays, they are worshiping on their own and stuff like that. So one of the things is we need to know the count within the community. We don't have a count of what the community looks like, or even those who practice on their own. And many of them go outside like Cuba, Brazil, all over. So we need to collect those kind of data and statistics to identify the number within the community. That's right.
All right, so we're going to now take a break. We're going to play some ads and we're going to come right back at you. Don't touch your dial. It's all about Ifa Orisha Way of Life program right here on the Shit 919 FM. Streaming live on YouTube and Iwer TV. Also streaming live on Facebook.
It's all about what's in the black man's mind. All about reminding us as how beautiful we are. For the year of fire, Oh, the clothing like teachers, t-shirts, checks, polos and shirts. Oh, dashiki, lady v-neck, lady tank top, and baby tees, dresses and
Yes, so we're back on the For Risha We Have Live program on the Shit 919 FM.
Yeah, as we were saying, we were talking about the census that the government of Trinidad and Tobago will be conducting. In fact, they've already started to do the census already. And one of the things that the foundation want to tap into is that information, because in that data set, they will identify person by religion, age, area, geography, all of that. So one of the things we want to do is to really ascertain the number really of devotees or people who identify themselves as Ifa Orisha devotees. They may not belong to Aile, some of them practicing on their own. Many of them practicing, but they connected to Cuba and Brazil, but they identify themselves as Ifa Orisha. So that's some of the work that the foundation is embarking on, right?
Sure.
And today is just the beginning of one of our programs that we want to book, which is a program just dedicated for children writing exams.
Yes, and education.
And the Orishas that will help them to facilitate their elevation.
And one of the things is that I myself, as you get older, or as you transition, you get to understand. When I was a little girl, I used to hear my mom praying, but she was spiritual Baptist, and she would say, Father God, open the sockets of my child mind. Open the sockets, Lord. And then she would say, Father God, all of that anything blocking her from thinking, and she used to be praying these things. And now that you get older, you get to, now that I get older, that I am in Ifa, and everything comes from Ifa, even though they were praying, not knowing what they were saying.
Yeah.
Open the sockets of your mind. Who's the person? Not the person. Who's the Orisha? There's an Orisha for your mind. There's an Orisha to remove blockages. You understand? So they were doing it. And now I am able to associate it back to the origin, Ifa. You understand? So, Ogunkaye?
One thing we hear a lot growing up is that faith without works is dead. And a lot of times we tend to focus, in my opinion, a lot on make sure and do your work, make sure and study, make sure and this, make sure and that. But where is time for you to be calm? Where is time for you to have balance? Where is time for you to be collected? Because you could have all this work, you could put in all this work. However, if you have no foundation riding on that, everything is going to collapse. So then we now have to find a way to make time for ourselves as parents and for our children, to let them know, yes, you're working hard and I see that you're working hard, but there's another part of yourself, that spiritual part of yourself, that aspect of yourself that you must also feed, that you must also tap into, that you must also give thanks and reverence to, because you are not here alone.
Right.
So you could know everything, but in that moment, in that exam, something happens and you completely blank.
Yes.
You must be able to then now call on this energy, or be calm for just 2 minutes, breathe, whatever exercises you may have to do, and be able to unlock and remove that blockage, however minor or major it may be.
Sure.
One of the things I like to teach my children, and they're very young, is how to unlock Ori and let Ori write the exam, right? And there's a technique too that you could teach your children. So for example, my daughter will be writing an exam and she would say, Mommy, my Ori says. Now her mind will tell her one thing and the Ori will tell her something else, and she followed the Ori and she got the word correct. So I would tell her, you need to tap into Ori and let Ori write the exam. So one of the strategies that we can do for our children is to have them wash the Ori. Yeah, wash your Ori.
And even understand what Ori is,
Most important, because as the saying goes, as you rise in the morning, you give thanks to your Ori, because you can't go to no other Orisha without going to your Ori first.
Your Ori is your first and foremost Orisha. This is the
it
Orisha
goes
that you're born
everywhere
and
with
came
you.
here with. And there are different parts of your Ori that you have to unlock and tap into as well. But just simply put, you have your Ori, which typically translates to head. So that is the physical aspect of it, and then you have Ori Inu, which is the subconscious mind, right? So when you're able to tap into that, you have to have balance on some sort of plane. When you have that balance within yourself and your Ori, mind, body, and spirit is connected, then everything else will flow.
And as Ifa says in Oyekumeji, it's very much important from time to time that I won't even say the word devotees, but us as human beings, we take care of our Ori. We feed our Ori. According to Iweri Ofuna as well, we make time and we wash our Ori. We go to you know, those persons who we trust. Our elders.
Trust.
And as you're saying that, and there's some stress on the program here, and a depth, because interfering with Ori, if you don't know what you're doing, could lead to calamity. Just as if I 16 tenants, if I said, what you're not trained to do, don't do. You know, and Ori, I mean, you just going on somebody's child, a big person, and you interfering with the Ori, you could send this person up sometimes, you could just scatter them, you know.
One
so
sort of madness you're doing and you don't know.
Correct.
One of the things I want to share is for the person who just doing something basic. For example, simple, something that when you're under stress, we do unconsciously, wash our face and we wash our head. You go by the pipe, you wash your face, you wash your head. That simple thing just calm your body down, you know. And that simple activity is cooling your Ori. Basic as that. You understand? You wash your face, because one of the things I often tell them, go and wash your face. Teachers do that in school too. When they see the children under pressure. Right? And that is one of the simplest ways of cooling your head and staying calm. Other strategies that students could use to, I remember Jada's here saying, meditation. Meditation is a big thing as well. And I know Iya Shongomi, she stresses meditation. Yeah, and being able to meditate and calm the body, calm the mind, and refocus. Right? And there are a number of other strategies that we could do at home before leading up to exams, before the exam. You understand?
And one of the things is, when we sat as a group, I said, you know, we were discussing, I said, Stacey, I have been, because I'm a teacher as well, and I have seen, I don't want to compare the different religions or ways of life, but our people, I think our people really need to see the importance of education. They do. I mean, you know, in layman terms, you want a power come, you know, and sometimes, to me, knowledge, edification, these are things that we should really want the Orisha for. You understand what I mean? To help us. Not just rebuilding our spiritual life, but remember, we also living in a carnal world. And living in a carnal world, you're required to be educated somehow. Whether it's a skill, you understand? Whether it's a degree, but you have to, because, you know, you have to survive in the carnal world, and there are certain requirements needed to survive in the carnal world. If you understand what I mean. Right? So you can't just study. I mean, and even, you know, when I see young people like myself, and I said, listen, I am where I am because I went to school and I educated myself. Not that I had better opportunities, but I also understood that I needed to do this because we have a lot, I mean, people blame it on slavery and all these things, but sometimes we have to blame it on ourselves, that our people did not see the importance
Anna,
of education.
You know why that has happened? And Shaka,
well, we're trying to change the mindset.
And not targeting other races or other religion. Other races will tell their child, my daughter or my son is going to be a doctor. He's going to be a physician. He's going to be the next prime minister. And my people, I see it where I live. I see it in the ghetto. I see it all over. You're so stupid. These are dance. You're just like your father. And you are manifesting as if has taught me. Whatever you manifest in the universe, so shall it be. So if you tell any child, you're stupid. You're like your father. He's a dance. A father by you. What going to happen, Shaka? Shaka, we will talk this night upon night upon night upon night. I'm so glad for this discussion. I'm going to tell you guys next week. I need all your back here because it is closer. No, it is closer to the exam. Where we need that veneration and that energy. So we're going to use these 2 weeks, this Monday and next week Monday, to actually work. Work like soaking. Because we have to start somewhere. And I will always say, you see the Hindu people, I will give them 100 out of 100 for their practice and their way of life because they are devoted. They are not ashamed of what they stand for. They are not ashamed of what belongs to them.
They even do prayers. They imagine they keep a whole prayers just for their child to pass an exam. Sometimes we just wait until 1 or 2 little prayers come in and then we ask the Orisha, help my child. But why we cannot have prayers to lift our children?
The Baptists does say this. Pray in and out of season, for when the time arises, you have prayers inside.
Yes. So, what we want to do today, I know Ogunkaye would have done some research and stuff. I mean, there's the basics, right? So we want to know, okay, yes, Ogun is the one you call on protection, but Ogun is also the one you could call for education as well. He is the one that taught us how to use and how to build things. So there are Orishas we have, and I think a lot of our young children that growing up in the tradition, they don't know that you can call your Orishas to help you with your exams, help you with your education, help you get a job. You know, you say, Mama Oshun, give us prosperity, give us money, but you also have to ask the opportunities to be able to make the money. You have to ask her. She's the goddess of consciousness. So, Ogunkaye, go ahead with the thing.
Yeah, just to touch on what you just said before, one thing I think that sometimes we also forget is that you don't always have to pray to ask for something.
True.
Sometimes you could wake up and everything in life either going real good or going real bad. But a lot of times all it takes is a little veneration. They just want a little attention. Morning. All the thanks. Sometimes you go to pray and you don't know what it is you're going and pray for. You go to pray and you're blank, but you're blank for a reason. Because you don't need to pray for anything. Everything is already sorted and seen about. To the word of Olodumare. You understand? To the word of Ifa. Your ancestors are taking care of these things. It's not for you to worry about right now. But sometimes when you wake up, it's, hey, thanks.
Yes.
Thanks. For everything, for things known and unknown, thanks. For the things that came, thanks. The things that went, thank you. For the things that are yet to come, for where I will need you in advance, thank you.
But in terms of when we were having a discussion about the different Orishas you can call, I wanted to talk about that.
So we spoke about Ori before, right?
Yes.
And people, I personally find that people tend to overlook Ori as an Orisha, but Ori is your most important Orisha because your Ori can either make or break you. Your Ori can lead you just as astray as it can put you in alignment, which is why we talk so much about balance, and which is why I mentioned to Stacey meditation. Meditation helps a lot to balance the Ori. Now people have this perspective put out into society that meditation is finding this complete stasis of just being calm. That's not meditation. Meditation is the process of being able to have your thoughts and sort them to say, okay, I hear you, I see you, but I'm not thinking about that right now. It's about having these thoughts and being able to say, I hear you, I see you, but not right now. You could sit down and meditate for an hour, and every single minute within that hour, you have an next thought. That is the human mind. That is the way the mind is designed to work. Meditation is just finding the peace amongst the chaos.
And besides the Ori, there's also Orunmila,
which is the Orisha of knowledge,
of wisdom,
and
knowledge. So I mean, you're seeing where you're going. So we have Orunmila, we can ask for wisdom, you can ask for clarity. We have Obatala,
the molder of the human body and mind. Without him, nothing is possible. As well as you could go to Ori, but Ori cannot exist without Obatala.
Exactly. So you see, so we're showing the community that we could teach the children education and Orishas. You understand?
Yep.
You ask Eshu is the one who stand up at all doors. Open the doors. Just they could think up your mind. Or sometimes a child, I have students and they would say, Miss, I'm not getting this at all, Miss, I don't understand this, Miss. What happened, Miss? I said, listen, calm yourself. Right? Stop thinking that it cannot come to you. Forget, remove the blockage. Look at it, let me take it one bit at a time. You understand? So we ask Ishu to clear to open the door. We ask Ogun to clear the path, to open your mind, to be able to take in the education. You ask Orunmila, you ask Obatala, you ask Oshun, she's a woman, not a woman, they call herself consciousness
and sweetness.
All Orishas you can call, different aspects of the Orishas you can call to help you with that. You ask Oya to come and change, negative thing into positive thing.
Blow that wind of
negativity.
Move it.
There's nobody is dance. I hate to hear people say this child dance is not that. Everybody is different.
And they learn different.
You can't be a Shango for the after you work hard and you have justice.
I was just going to say that.
After Shango, I have work, I have put in effort, I ask you to grant me the justice to give me my first choice. May it be so. May it be so. so many, so
But even deeper than that.
And you know that child walking in the exam room strong.
Yeah. But even deeper than that, Shango, with strategy, how
Yeah.
you approach a question, critical
Yes,
thinking, analysis.
beautiful.
You understand? And listen, for exam, you get more points for critical thinking and analysis than the answer.
Yeah, because one thing we don't talk about, especially being part of the educational system myself for about 2 years with OJT, being in a school. Structural analysis is a huge part of teaching. There's a part of it where you base a child on structural analysis. Like everything else can be good to know. But you see that structural analysis, if it doesn't add up, you need to start from scratch. They have to be able to see that strategy and that problem solving.
You know what I now came to me? What about the leg bar? Can we ask him, like if you're confused about a question, can you ask leg bar not to confuse you in the exam? Is that possible? Or not for you to get confused?
According to Oshayot Pura, nothing happens without issues, divine presence.
You check them.
And even when we speak about, the structure of how we bringing up our children to face this system, according to Oyeku or Bara, let us not treat the right leg when the issue is with the left leg. It means let us treat with the issue as it is. Because as we all know, we are so fortunate as a community, in fact as a people, that we have that mechanism in place that when our children are now coming into this world, we have the tools to assist them, to place them where they are supposed to be. Because you said you hate to hear people say that children are dunce. But I mean, for a person who does not understand how our people are designed to function based on their uniqueness. A person may be good with their hands, but they are placed in a square peg when they are supposed to be in a round hole, and then they are labeled and stereotyped in a particular way.
We had this discussion as well,
So even when we
understand your child,
when we understand our child and understand Ifa, according to Oyeku Obara, we put our children in the section where they are supposed to be. And it doesn't even start at Isek. It starts as they come out of that womb. Within the first 3 days, within the first 17 days, you consult Ifa to find out what is the IMO of that child.
Might be good in his hands, might be good in this, and what not to go into.
Because not all of us are meant to be doctors. Some of us are meant to be farmers, vendors.
Very good, yes.
We are meant to add and make this world better than the way we met it. So even when we speak about putting our children in places to have an impact on this society, we must put them in the place that they are divinely suited for. Because you could watch other groups of people.
They do it.
You could watch them. But we as a people need to mind our business. And according to Ifa, the first Udu, or ta or ra, Ifa is truth. You ensure that you put your children where they are supposed to be. You could be whatever in this world, but once you are living your destiny and you are impacting positively in your community, you will do well. You don't have to, because even as we look at it now, from where you are as a foundation, this is so instrumental in building certain parts that is crumbling within this society. Because in your communities, this could be passed on. Because you see, it's important to get the children off on the right foot. You could look at other groups, other denominations, but they are fulfilling their traditional rights in the way that is set out for them. Ogunda Onwari tells us, let us stick to our tradition. Erete Ogbe tells us again, stick to our tradition. Use the mechanisms in place that the ancestors have passed on to us. And that would allow us to be so much advanced. Because you see, when you're looking to follow the cousins,
Multitudes.
The multitudes. What they are doing is for them.
Yes.
Their success story is for them.
Yes.
But we have to get down on the mat.
Yes.
We have to go by our Ujubo. We have to connect with Orun Mela. Because I mean, who was there to witness us choosing our faith?
Right.
Who was there?
Right.
Orun Mela.
Yes.
Who was there? Human beings was not there. Your uncle wasn't there. The neighbor wasn't there. It was Orun Mela Barami Agbonirigu who was there. Ellery Pui. Witness to destiny who was there. So when we connect back with our roots, that is when we will be successful.
But I also want to add to what you're saying there and saying that we need to balance.
Yeah.
We need to balance both worlds. The carnal world and the physical and the spiritual world.
You have to.
So for example, because our education system is colonial in nature, meaning it is built on a structure.
Yes.
Right? That is colonial. Our children all over would have to fall into that system and that structure. That's why the importance of having your own schools, that is where that come up from.
That's beautiful.
And that is why if we were to look at the other communities, if you go into their schools and see how they function, they use the colonial system and they place their system on top of it. So it's a merging of the two worlds because you're following your destiny, you're doing whatever, but you still need to have the basic reading, writing, comprehension, and understanding. Right? If you don't have that, you could have all the skill in the world, you'll get robbed if you can't count your money. If you cannot complete a form, if you cannot fill out the form for the ID card to get your driver's license. So you need basic education.
If you can't read, you're signing up
And
for
you know
something
what?
you don't know the particulars of.
And
Go ahead,
I
Anna.
want to add to that because I've heard leaders say in those first world countries, our country create workers.
Employees, yes.
Employees. We don't create owners and entrepreneurs and these things because we gear our children into following. Okay, everybody go study or become this
and get government work.
Sometimes when you go to them, what we say, rich people school. You want to know? When they're walking, but they're showing not learning nothing. They're painting, they're playing piano, they're running around, they're playing with the invisible friend, all kind of madness they're doing. And you're like, well, what kind of mission? When are they studying? But they are creating them to think outside the box. They are training them to rule us. You understand? So when I say that just now there, I have went to press. Let's go press all about. I went to press. And I hear the manifestation say, telling the woman saying, I'm not making no money. No, wasn't known as a boy. I'm not making no money this and you know what the manifestation tell him? That is not for you. Try and make clothes and sell. Here, make clothes. Yes. Make clothes and sell. And you will make money. You're good with your hands. I heard the manifestation. So he looking for a job here and the manifestation telling him that is not for you. Try this.
But what
so you see the same thing that he said there. The Orisha telling the person, try this. This is not for you. Try this different industry. And I have seen it all over.
But what the manifestation did there was really lead him into entrepreneurship.
Yes.
Which is to become his own boss.
Yes.
Right?
And then to understand who he is, that he is good with his hands, that what he wants is not fair.
No. And sorry, just
go ahead.
splice in quickly. Odi Ika as well tells us as well. You can live in this world, excel in things that is not for you, but you will never find fulfillment. So that is why, again, it's incumbent to find what Olodumare created you to become in this world. Age Yogbe tells us again, function in the way you were designed to be. Because that is what would make you manifest beyond this third level of our existence. As Ifa tells us, we exist in 7 realms. We live in the third. But if you fail on this mission here, you will stick in this mission here
until you could.
Until you go on to the second and then you go on to the first. So that's why it's incumbent again to know your destiny, follow your destiny, and fulfill your destiny.
And also I want to plug in here with the importance of us having our own educational institution in order to structure it in a way so that these things could be achieved.
Facts.
Because many of our children are scattered in the general education system and it does not provide for that. Right? It doesn't facilitate that we're talking about here. So again, it says that, this program that we're doing here and this platform that we're on and that we are sharing on, we have to keep supporting each other.
Yes.
Right? And we have to keep growing this brand. And we have to keep growing the organization that is here so that the word could go out, so that we could filter back in, so that we would be able to get our own set. Because I know people doesn't like us talking about the different sect. That is how they started. They started with schools that were like cowsheds. I remember Satmarat saying that. Right, and everything filtered out of those out of those institutions. They used the hall. They had group meetings. The school was like a microcosm in itself, and it helped multiply the tradition that they were in. And we have to encourage that, and we have to try to lobby for that, in order for us to see this manifestation of what we're talking about in the next couple of years.
One thing that brings up for me is I was having a discussion with a young lady. I work in an office for a lawyer.
Okay.
Right? I am a secretary. And it's opened up a lot of opportunities for me. I am basically operating as a paralegal at this point. But I am a secretary, but I'm learning a lot.
Yes.
So there was a young lady in there, and she was telling me about school, and we were talking because we're fairly around the same age. And she was saying that she wanted to study this in school. She went to Saraswati, but she wasn't able to because of whatever I said. But I did modern studies, and I was able to choose. And she said, no, in Saraswati they don't go like that. And she tried to explain it to me, thinking that I wouldn't understand. And I asked, I said, is it in terms of your tradition?
Yeah.
That is how they choose it for their children. And she said yes, she wanted to do it so bad, but because she's female and also because of her tradition in the school, that this is very much heavily implemented, she was not able to choose.
Wasn't allowed.
No, she wasn't allowed, and people would see that as that is probably some kind of slave thing, or that is they're putting her in a box. However, this is how it has been traditionally for them. It works for them. This is their system. They took the same system that all of us surviving with and place something on top of it, which brings me to a point that I always bring up with people. A lot of times we try to dismantle the system. Listen to me, this system has been put in place for centuries.
You have to build on it.
It's a system that's made to manifest and continue in case of any sort of interference, to continue to regurgitate. It's a self-serving system that it was put in place here and it will continue throughout life. Our issue as black people is that we have succumbed to a lot of things mentally, and also mental slavery, in a nutshell, for lack of a better phrase. So rather than us try to do exactly what they want us to do, which is break the system, which is impossible, you need to learn the system, because you are to use the system that you are a part of to the best of your ability to meet it back, to get the most amount of benefits that you could get.
Thank you.
And this is to me, this is one thing that we don't stress on enough, especially for our children.
Yes.
Because when we look at how they structure, because I've been going into these schools and I see how they function and they operate and stuff, and I watch, and let me tell you, it's a beautiful system, and I mean the discipline there is like awesome. And it's almost military.
Full on respect.
Yeah, full on. Yeah. And they greet you. It could be anyone, but from the gate they greet you. And when you enter the system, the students are focused. I see where they had a young teacher there who was not pulling her weight. Immediately they removed her and they bring in a senior teacher. Now the mentality in that is that you are not going to mess up this batch of children. They put her in the library forthwith. That is the kind of commitment and drive, and what they do, they train their children and place them in places and position to rule. And we cannot be angry with them for doing that. We just have, as Ogunkaye said, we just have to learn the system and work it for our best interests. And that's what we're doing.
And change the mindset.
And change the mindsets. I think it's a mindset thing.
And it's important too, as much as there are current systems in place. I liked what you all were saying. We need our own.
We need our own. That is the way they started.
Because you see, as much as these are the current systems that have existed from since time immemorial, once we start, because as Ifafa says, planning is the father of all organizations. if I know not how to plan, is what you consider for me divinely is what is good and proper. Are we thinking that our Creator is not aware of our plight? Our Creator is aware of our plight, but are we really focused on taking what information we get from our source and putting that into action to move past all these social and institutional barriers?
Yes.
Because our ancestors know our plights.
Yes.
Our ancestors know here what now. Our children is about to write exam, and the schools that are on the list are not schools that would perpetuate the tradition in which we teach them in the palace. But they are waiting on us. In fact, they are bringing messages. Do this, do that. And again, as Ifa says it, Okara or Yeku, we have to do Ebo.
Yes.
For those who might be listening in radio land, we have to make the sacrifice for our children.
And sacrifice is guaranteed success.
Yes. Ikameji says, the foundation we lay today is what our children will stand upon tomorrow. So it's serious. So it means that the planning must not just be what's the word we use, secular, but we must invite that spiritual guidance and inspiration to carry this thing forward, because as we know, according to Ifa, the moment you talk a plan, some kind of vibes are wrong waiting to take that and destroy that. And what carries your plan? Sacrifice. Ebo. And you do it with sincerity to make sure that here what now? The foundation going in the way it is planning. Because here man, the society we live in, even on the radio, there's data mining all over. So the system is aware of what plans you in your own zone is trying to do. But you have to make that effort and make the sacrifice to push.
Yes.
To push.
And that's the thing, we hardly have people in the vineyard to push, to do the pushing.
That's why I want to ask that question.
Some vexed that pushing going on.
I just want to touch on some of the comments here by the folks on Facebook. You know, streaming, you know, Alison Bain says, well said. Diana Wellington says, well said. King Shaka Khalif says, human beings have multiple intelligences. You know, Makila says, as usual, Iaje says, Aborabo Yaboshishe to the host and guest. Ifabumero Falibe says, Ashe. You know, and it goes on. And G. St. Paul says, yeah, don't be angry with them firstly. We have to love ourselves and unite, which is so true. Shutter says, Ebo it is because that's going to happen. He says, good night, ears. But I want to say something. I'm going to remove myself as Alatumishe, and I'm going to ask a question here as MC Duke on the Shit 919 FM. You know, because people will say, I am part of the community, so I go before or whatever. So I'm giving you a little fuzzy one, maybe a little, you know, a little bit here. All this is good, all this is nice. What are you guys going to do to see this transition, to see this change within our people, where we can propel our children of today and also tomorrow to be excellent? Because when you look at it from a complex outlook, all right, the East Indians, they are grooming their children to be this and that. The Muslims, they are doing that. The other sects are grooming. But when you look at, I'm not bashing the education aspect of the country, the ministry that is, but when you look at Mokorapo West, you look at Five Rivers, you look at schools down south, the transition from the 3-year schools that go into 5 years and 7 years, you see that kind of behavior. Rarely you see those kind of behaviors in the religious schools. Why? Because they have structured. If it's about respect, humility, and patience. What are you guys going to do? What are you guys going to sacrifice? What is the community going to do to turn this wheel around? that we can get our children where they ought to be, where they need to be, where they are relaxed and they are balanced?
Well, the first thing, we had that conversation, and I said, you know what we really need for our community to, one, understand the power of their words to their children, to understand education is important, to show them that the research can also be used for educational purposes, to understand you must have a balance with your spiritual life and your carnal life. And even King Shaka added some stuff that we didn't even think about, which is we have to know from baby, we have to understand we have the tools and we need to use the tools to make our children successful, as I said. From baby you need to know, okay, well this child, don't put him in police, don't put him in this. He is going to do this. A good babalao will tell you that.
Or Ianifa.
Yes. Can tell you that, and you can't tell it groom your children, and we need to change what's the paradigm. The paradigm.
Yeah.
The shift is happening. I don't know if anybody else is feeling it. It's happening. It has nothing to do with age.
True.
It has nothing to do with she now come or he now come. It has nothing to do with that, because sometimes you just get gray hair and you ain't fulfilled your destiny here yet. So you have to come back again. No, it is the truth, because we have had before who didn't see anything. The most they could do is vex. But it's the truth. You understand? It's the truth. I have a young son growing up, and I want to see him do well.
Yes.
And he may not be good in certain things, but he will be good in other things. He could be good in piano. Why all people can't play piano?
Yeah.
You could be a construction worker, but you could have a construction company. You know, you need to change the way they think. You could be good at food, you could become a chef. Our people need to lift the way they think.
That's the start from SNTI.
Right?
It has to start.
It has to start.
You know, because even as old as I am, because when I initiated, as a Obertala initiated, I got my readings and I got my way forward. My initiation with my messages come. Line me up direct with the job I am in now.
You see?
That I can say, wow,
yes.
Okay.
So you need to come back again.
Exactly, because we need, and as Shaka say it here, I wish I could have a young one that I can do SNTI and actually, get, the feeling, because the other day when you were there, I said, oh boy, Shaka be telling me. That privilege and that honor and that know-how that you can have a young one and do SNTI and actually
we have the tools that us use that.
You can't eat sausage.
Yeah.
You can't do this. There's the direction of going on. And you as a parent now, because if I shoot, Onmila is wisdom, Obatala is creativity, Shango is justice, Oya is the strong breeze of prosperity, and you going down the road and you doing what you have to do. What can stop you?
Nothing.
And the child will know
when everything line up, when when I get old I can rock back so until
put your back on the matter comfort.
Oh, but also too, not only as SNTI we also have passages where the children go from different stages to stages. What happened with slavery? Remember, all of these things were removed.
Yes.
So I know one of the things we said that we would do as a foundation, because many of us with our girls, we have our girls, when they reach a certain age, we're going to do something for them, as a rite of passage.
Into womanhood.
Yeah. So the boys have to have the same thing too.
Yes, that's
and the only way we could start implementing these things by having our own institutions where we could really build on these things and really implement them and have them roll out. That's the only way we could be able to do it.
And even just to add piece of what to Princess Anna here, even when we are seeking to go in the way of in the way of childbearing as well, it's also incumbent on you to find out what type of child is coming, or what type of child is
or if it coming in anything good or bad
within that waiting period there. Because sometimes within that space there, without form, you could choose many good things. But sometimes within that space there too, you did not do the sacrifice to come to earth with everything. And then as you start to come down, the Ajogun start to interfere. And you as a parent, your child grow well within the first 2 months, and then boom, something happen.
Yes.
So our spirituality, as we always say here, is second to none.
Yes.
It's our engine room to access balance with the physical, but your spirituality, it's your insulation from the attacks.
Yes.
Even from where we stand and sit here now. Where we stand and we sit here now, this is groundbreaking information that you all came here to pass to many people. Because look at it. There is somewhere in this country right now, maybe somewhere, that some parent or some group of people are thinking that a particular child is not worth anything. And they don't have that knowledge to understand that, hear what? Even though he's not fast at reading, but he may be fast at picking up skills with his hands. I remember in school, I had a friend. He left school with one subject. He still live with something. But the community laughed at him. They put him down. They said, boy, this man, he hard head. He brain hard like pigeon peas. It hard. Banga seed. And within little or no time, he signed up for YTEP.
Right.
He did welding, level 1 and 2. He went NESC after. He did coded welding. A little time after, he started to do work on his own. And within no time, he is one of the most successful young entrepreneurs I know. Because even though he was not good with the academics at that point in time, he was a skilled man from heaven.
Yes.
There's
He's skilled from heaven.
There's something that I always say with children in particular, because we've all made our fair share of mistakes. I have a nephew at home that I used to help with his schoolwork. I was working at the time as well. And he thinks like me. In terms of doing things school-wise and the way that he sees problems, he thinks exactly like me. I've never met anyone to think like me, which is why Spirit gave the instruction to help him. Now I started to get frustrated, forgetting he thinks just like you. Listen, and this is my thing where I have run into problems with people not seeing my perspective on things, and I am saying, hey, if you just turn this a little bit here, where you going to see a square, I go in and see 4-dimensional lines lining up with something completely different here. But you see in a square, perception is a hell of a thing. Right? So this is why, as well as not trying to be selfish, but as well as we're urging students who listening to this as well, and children who listening to this as well, to have balance with themselves and know who to call on, know who to venerate, know when to do what. But also, I will also implore and urge parents. Because if nothing is right with you, nothing is going to be right with that child.
That energy transference.
Something as simple as washing the head of the child. Yes, washing the head of the child is going to ensure, clean mind, clean slate, calm, balance. But if you are not in alignment, your ori is not in alignment, and everything mess up with you here, when you washing that child head, you transferring the energy from here to here.
But where you will see that too is even in the house.
Yes.
In the house. Because if you see the house, if they have no peace, how could the child study? Right? If the parent is chaotic, always have a quarreling, always have a fighting, the word is always negative energy, you keep pushing at the child, that is what will transfer onto the child, and that is how the child won't be able to settle and won't be able to, and we'll blame the child, but we gave that child a disability just by the way we carry ourselves on at home.
There's a toxic thing in the black community that we always say tough love. There's a fine line between tough love and toxicity. There's a fine line between tough love and just spewing negativity on that child, because you have to know the type of child that you have. I could probably have a child and need to show them tough love,
but it's how
you could have a child and this child needs love, this child needs nurturing. So then we also need to pay attention to the children around us. Now I am not a parent, but I have had the opportunity and the blessing of always having children around me. Right? Always taking care of little cousins, nephews, nieces. I've always had that blessing. So then you need to pay attention to these children, because you are saying he not good in school and he not doing good in this. Why is he not doing good in this? Does he need extra help? Is it because, he can't concentrate when it comes to certain things? My same nephew in question, amazing child, excellent with maths. Excellent with maths. Same thing with me. I never liked maths as a child, simply because around me, I was hearing,
Maths
oh,
hard.
maths hard.
Yes.
But maths was something that came naturally to me as a child. Even if I don't understand why I was doing what I was doing, I was getting the answer. But because I made the mistake and I wrote maths twice, because of that mistake, I made the mistake to listen to everybody, maths hard and maths this, and how you getting that, how you getting this, and I didn't want to seem odd. I didn't want to I didn't want to, make my friends feel less than. So I didn't study. I didn't do it as I had to do. I passed maths the first time with a 3. Went back and wrote maths the second time and passed it with a distinction.
Congratulations.
Right? So we also have to pay attention to the needs of our children and see their different behaviors. A lot of time children behave certain ways because they need that nurturing. Because if we are adults and we could get anxious, we could get depressed, and our minds are seemingly fully developed, far less for a child whose mind is still in development. This is a very tender thing. As we were talking about before.
Anxiety,
So take care
and
of that
stress.
child.
Some children, adults don't believe that, but some children can have anxiety and stress.
Yes, this is the age where they do.
Yeah, they could be very stressed out just the same.
You know what I like? What Stacy had said, that she taught her children ways to manage that anxiety. That is so important.
And I want parents to see education too as an investment into your future, your legacy, into the future. Don't see it as a waste of money. Oh, the child's so dumb, I just wasting money, but I pull you out of school and you do so by so. No, we need to see it as an investment. And you see that basic care. The child mightn't be getting it all right all the time, but showing love and care and celebrating that child and knowing how to deal with when they come with the wrong. So, for example, one of the things I often tell my children as well is that getting it wrong is not the end of the world. Right? And there's always tomorrow. Right? Don't attach yourself to the answers or to the outcome so much that you become so depressed and so depleted that you don't know yourself. That's why many children, when they reach university, they commit suicide. Why? Because when they start to fail at that level now, they don't know how to handle the stress of it. And they have a lot of exam anxiety, a lot of exam stress.
That's right. Just want to ask Anna.
I'm going to touch some of the comments here. You know, the folks who put in the comments here. Iwer says, balance is a magic word because we are living in a physical space where we must live fulfilling lives, and this can only be done by educating and applying ourselves.
Yes.
Ifa Sion says, blessed night to everyone. Makila says, that is a problem. We are so hooked on book sense, we forget the manual skills. Ifa Bamero says, there are various pedagogical approaches to education. It is up to the teachers to try different approaches to reach out to students. Baba Olakila Masatunje. He says, Alafia to all, may the intelligence of our ancestors continue to guide us all on the pathway of accomplishment and success. Simone Daria says, Dylan, could you tell Anna I said good night and I love her? Please, thank you. Makila says, we must positively support each other when they are showing interest in one area rather than the other. Orisha Lashe, who is one of our sponsors of Nubian Experience, he says, blessed night to you all, more life and good health to you all.
Good night.
Makila says here, we have adjust our teaching to the way the children abilities. Ifa Bamero says student-based education. Akim Baker says good night everyone.
Good night.
And Love Isaac says good night to the panel. Hi Auntie Anna. Jojo watching, we're proud of you. Your dad is smiling down at you.
Thank you.
Angie St. Paul says here for donations and contributions to the Ifa Orisha Way of Life. FCB account number 1999010 Chini Bashment Limited, and it goes on. Shaka?
At the level where you teach, Anna, right? I mean, in the time you have been there, what you would see as a negative that stifled, the potential of your students?
Of students? You see, okay, so I teach secondary school from 1, 3, and 6. And what I notice is that sometimes students just want to pass an exam. Some of them they don't want to understand. Sometimes they want to regurgitate. So you would see that questions where you could go and say, well, for animals, cat, bat, rat thing. But you see where they had to actually apply that knowledge, they can't do it because they're so concentrated on regurgitating. And they see failure as they fail.
Yeah, personal.
And they don't understand. I said, well, listen, when we go with, you get something wrong, we do it over, you learn from your mistakes. You have your strengths, you have your weaknesses, you build on your strengths, and you improve your weaknesses. That is one of the things that I noticed. And also, a lot of my, let me say my people, I might get think for that, but my race. all are mine, but my particular people.
Benny.
I just try not to show
and you are right.
biasness. But I notice that they have that insecurity problem. And sometimes, as a teacher, as I see somebody say, we have to change the way we teach.
Yeah.
You can't only call on the students who always know.
Yes.
You have to try to call on the students who don't know. And then confidence. Some children have no confidence. Because maybe you don't know what's going on at home. They're afraid to say the wrong answer. And I say they're afraid to ask a question. There are no stupid questions. I always tell them that. And sometimes you have to teach them differently. Some people learn by hearing. Some people learn by seeing. Some people learn by doing. So sometimes, it's trying to get them to understand the topic. And another thing is, a lot of our people don't realize that sometimes our children might have a psychological problem. They might be autistic. They might be what do you call this thing, dyslexic. They don't believe in those things, Our people don't believe that their children can have those issues, so they never really look. They think that's a rich people problem. No,
Rich
they have
people
children
that
are
a white people problem.
African people.
Love to say that.
That are autistic. So sometimes you find the child not connecting with you, or the child weird, or all kind of thing, or the child like to draw. Sometimes you have to sit down and look at your child as a teacher. Sometimes we notice certain things with the child. He might be twitching. Some of these things.
I don't know the Ministry of Education have special
teachers.
Yes, because they realize there's a need.
The Ministry of Education also have a department where they do assessments as well. Because I'm a part of those departments as well.
Okay.
Where you do psycho-educational assessment to see what the child has, the strategies it have, and they also have consignments and stuff available for children who are showing challenges. So, for example, it have extra time. It have different concessions that could help support the child to be successful in their exams, right? So the Ministry of Education, but having the knowledge now, it is there, but having accessed it and the knowledge that it is there is where the problem
So what you are saying, there is time allotted to certain types of students during the
extra
exam?
time,
No.
That was always there.
No, you get extra time, and some of them, depending on the severity of whatever it may be that they're dealing with, they have to go to a different room.
They get
How can we get this information out to the listening public? Because there are plenty, I sure, while we sitting here talking, some parent listening and just hear, ping.
Well, you could go, I know for a fact you could go on the ministry's website and get this stuff, right?
Services.
Also, I always tell parents, try to get a good relationship with the teachers. Because teachers, they know everything, and they also talk to other teachers, right? Because like I said, I was only in a school for 2 years, and it taught me so much in that school, just being there for that short amount of time. So talk to your teachers as well, build a good relationship with them, find out what are the things that are going on with your children. Because just like we were in the car coming down, and then we all noticed something, that we were referring to some children they were in what? Preschool, where at home with the parent the child is fine, but then
they go in the
at
classroom,
school
madness,
they freeze.
So it comes off as though they don't know.
So it came off to the teacher as they don't know. The child is incapable of. This is unacceptable. And the parent is saying, no, that's not the case. But thank you for alerting me. I will now take care of the situation or see what I need to do in order to move him from that stage where he's now frightened and he just lock up and freeze in front of you. To where he's home with me and he's comfortable and he's able to do everything freely. So this is another, this is why I keep saying have good relationships with teachers as well, and also have good relationships with the principals.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know?
Hopefully we have
I
our
just
own
want to
school
put
that
one more plug in here, and the one plug I want to put in is if you're having challenges in school to get your child assessed, meaning that you notice a problem. One, I want to tell parents, if you see a problem, catch it early. The earlier you catch it, the better it is.
Yep.
Bingo.
Right? The second thing I want to tell you that if you're having challenges getting your child assessed, because again, Ministry of Education, there's a backlog, and your child is not the only child. You can go into the district office personally and carry complete the forms.
Yes.
Right? It's called a referral form. You complete the form and they submit it and they would call you. Right? They could come walking off the street and do it as well. Also, too, you could go privately. There are people outside there, school psychologists and other psychologists, people who do these assessments. It might cost a little bit of money. However, they also have private tutors that you can pay for specific disabilities. And they come in. I think the going rate is like $50 an hour. That is the minimal. From there it goes up based on the skill of the teacher as well.
Yes, you see. And what about those in the community that cannot afford? What is their...
No, let me tell you how, well, as a foundation, how we look at this, but again, it comes back to places like the Ilays, the shrines and stuff, and having things like homework centers coming out from these things.
Just before the break, I wanna ask this next question. School is going to reopen fully, going out one-on-one, student and teachers supposedly after the Easter vacation, right? From my point, sitting, especially with this conversation, I expect a rise in requests for psychological teachers and assessment. Why? I even see it in my home. Now there are students before one-on-one in the classroom, they excel, right? This great pandemic, great COVID, mighty COVID, right? We have seen where some students have excelled with this way and some went down. How are we going to treat with this? How are we going to deal? Because trust me, for the past 2 years, they ain't going to school. They ain't putting on. Now the secondary students, they are big. They have a little more maturity. They can adjust like that. But someone who was 8, 9, 7 and 6, how is that mindset of that child going to be? We have about 1 minute and 35 seconds before we take a break. So
the world is going that way now. Everything is the way COVID just bring it faster. And this is where we needed the parents to really supervise, watch, help, assist. But this is the way the world is going, right? Just now, I don't even want to say that, but I think within the next 5-10 years, it may not even have physical school again.
Also,
the world is going that way.
Also, for parents to sometimes take a little backseat. Place the problem in front of the child and see how they go with it. Let them know that they are supported. And you're here in case anything happens. But sometimes it's good to take a backseat because you're not going to see the issue if you're constantly there or if you're doing it for them.
You have to have a balance with
if you understand what it is I mean. Because if you're hovering and you're not giving the child a chance
but you see that age group, I am telling you, as Dylan said, that age group, very hard for them to concentrate. I am telling you. You have to hover. But I understand when you say about micromanaging. You're hovering, but
when you go out to school, the teachers will see all who are cheating.
Yes.
You're going to see that because there are students.
The projects.
Projects. Excellent. Bam.
And you know a 6-year-old can't do that.
And when they come out, with them sheeps going with the leader. Where's the leader for those sheeps?
It's when the projects come on, you know they will do that for themselves.
So we're going to take a break. We're going to come back. Yes, so I'm just getting a little problem with the video feed for the the sponsor. So that video there was by Olokun Business Solutions for all landscaping and maintenance needs. Contact numbers 482-311. Also Nubian Experience, clothing that tells a great part of them. So I'm going to play some ads and I'm going to come right back at you. It's all about Ifa Risha. We have a live program here on the Sheet 919 FM. Yours truly, Ala Tumishi, and my co-host King Shaka, and three beautiful, lovely ears who are educating us on the students who are about to do SCA and CSEC. For the Orisha way of life, Kamara's Quality Store, the #1 importer and supplier of genuine products from Africa, located at Adams Bazaar Main Road, Shogunas. Contact number 672-8438, 320-8866. Yes, Gossip like Gel Polish, gel with a difference. Contact number 382-7587. Come, let us take care of your feet, Petty by Risi. They also sell butters. Contact number 398-4474. Nubian Experience, clothing that tells part of our rich African history. Number 6 Woodford Street, Arima. Contact number 688-1979. Oriyumi, Nico Loggins, Health and Wealth Lifestyle. Number 73 Eastern Main Road, Barataria. EMG out of Texas. Richie's Tire and Automotive Car Care Center. Number 409 Otello Drive, Hampton, Georgia. Sponsors for the Ifa Orisha Way of Life.
Also sponsored by the Throne of Gold for all your African supplies and clothing. Their contact number is 754-5128. That is the Throne of Gold. You can find them on Facebook and also on Instagram. Omo Inu, All Things Woman. For all your Yoni products, they are the sole women's haven distributor for Trinidad and Tobago. Their contact number is 365-4332. You can find them on Facebook and also on Instagram. Black Tie-Dye Catering Service, 683-8755. You can find them on Facebook and Instagram. Awo Wabande Tonic, 388-4606. You can find them on Facebook and also on Instagram. Ile Josio Turamishi, Awo Oshun. Thank you.
That's all. I'm going in now. No. Yes, it's yeah. On Orisha Way of Life program, sure. You know, so the lines are open up now for you to throw your questions at the ears right here with me tonight. My contact numbers are 3420081. That's 3420081. My WhatsApp number is 7711791. That's 7711791. Let's get interactive. Let's have a discussion. I'll now have a message by Iya Shango Wumi by Iya Baker. So we'll be back at it again.
Okay, I would like to say Majuba to Olodumare. Majuba to all Orishas. Majuba to my positive ancestors, all our ancestors. Majuba to Eshu. Majuba to Ogun. So this is a message from Iya Shango Umi. Here goes. Dear students, good day. I want you to know that you are more than flesh, bones and blood. You are spiritual consciousness which awakens your intelligence to give you the capacity to live well in this world. How do you get that understanding? First, by knowing and feeling that you are special. Second, that you are here to fill your special role. Thirdly, that you are divine creatures and the ultimate divinity is always connected to you. Just carry your conversations in that direction as many times that you need to. Those conversations will open up your consciousness, bring forth your intelligence and guidance in the name of divinity once you apply yourself. Orisha can only do for you what they can do through you. Apply yourself and there is plenty out there. Be confident, be blessed going forward. I add my blessings and prayers also.
Ashe.
Thank you.
Peace and love. Thank you. Yeah,
Shango Wumi. Yes.
From Isam.
From Isam Shrine. Yes.
So we send our love and respect to her and our great humble salutations to her.
Yes.
Ashe.
From a spiritual aspect, you know, students who are gearing up and getting ready to do the SCA exam, also CSEC students, what is required of them at this present moment from a spiritual aspect?
From a spiritual aspect, well, individually, as we say, going to people who are trained Babalawos and Yenifas and having them do a Ori, wash Ori, feed Ori, cleanse Ori, having that whole ritual being conducted. As well as, at this point in time, which I think parents should have done long before, was do divination or dafa, and then do ebo, right, to ensure success. But also to, you have to put in the work as well. You have to make the time to study the work, understanding what is required of you, and then apply yourself. So again, well, the Christians say faith without work is...
And I wish I can only do for you, to do through you.
If you do not put in the work, you cannot eat.
Thank you.
If you do not put in the work, you would not be successful. Oshe Meiji tells us that if a person is praying for something and they have not made, you know, that changes, they have not made the sacrifice, what you're praying for would not manifest.
Exactly.
And that's ideally important because, you know, it have a culture of cramming.
Yes.
We would was that teacher. You would cram 2-3 days before and you're praying for a miracle. Oshe Meiji tells us you put in the work.
Yes.
The ancestors in front, the Orisha behind. They will ensure where you have to go. But you can't not put in the work and look for magic. Because as we know, Ifa is not magic.
Exactly.
You could wash your head how much time, but if you don't put in the work to let
you kill 100 chicken.
Hear this now. Hey, if you don't put in the work and you wash your Ori will only give you what you put in that Ori. So you have to put in the work.
Yes.
So, what would you all recommend as patterns of how our young ones should study? What you all recommend? I mean, yes, children learn in different ways. But what are the basic ways that as teachers you all would recommend?
Normally, you have what topics will come, right? Those are mandatory topics. Each topic you have different objectives or different things that you must know. So I would recommend that, and also the student will know it. Have some things they already know and know how to do this. You see the things that you don't know how to do, spend time to work on those questions. I think they have free in the newspaper. I believe they have SCA questions, CSEC papers. You try and do as much questions in those past papers in those particular areas that you're weak in. Because I mean, the only ones that they could, I could pass.
It's in the Guardian, I believe.
Yeah. Try to concentrate on those things. I believe cleanliness, for me, cleanliness. You having a clear space. They're going to study here, make sure in front of you is clear. Sometimes for me, I just put a little bowl of water. I don't have that two things for them, but you put a little water to help
clear up the space.
Just saying. You could drink the water too. I know, but I mean, the audience is over. Well, all right.
I just watch her because I bored in my mind. We are spiritual people, so I bored in my mind.
For me, I usually put water. I use water to help clear the space, help me clear my mind. You know, you can put a little water. Sometimes you could use some plants and all. You know, have a clear lighting. Just to prepare your environment. You know, and every day you practice makes perfect. Every day you practice. And before you even start to study, one of the things I used to do and still do, I pray.
Yes.
I pray and I ask God to hear what help me. I ask my ancestors to help me. I tell my ancestors, I'm going to continue your legacy. I have to be great, so you have to help me be great. So ask they should declare the door, because we taught you all today somebody who to call on. So even if your mommy and daddy, aunt and uncle and teaching you, and you're not a babalawo or you're not Yenifa, all of us have the ability to connect to the highest source. So you sit down and you pray however you want to say, Father God, Mommy God, wherever, help me to study so I can pass my exam. And that alone, you speak. You have to apply yourself. And Orisha can only do for you what they can do through you. Pick up your book, work out the little question, ask Ogun to remove the obstacles, ask them not to confuse you, and then you get in. One by one, bit by bit, we shall eat the head of the rat. So that is my advice.
And even when you're feeling overwhelmed, taking time out, take a time out, you know, step back from it, take a walk, go into nature. That's one of the things we say. And you know we are an African, we are earth-based spirituality practice, right? Go, take your shoes off, walk on the ground, go by the river, go by the sea, take a bath, and then come back at it again.
Yes.
Sometimes even changing your not your perspective, your area. Because if you realize at home, this is my space, this is my studying space. At home, inside my bedroom, probably in your living room, and you realize that you keep running into the same problem. Take a walk, carry a book with you.
Yeah. And even your diet as well. Your diet.
Yes.
You can't want to eat plenty food because I don't want to use that derogatory term, but when you eat plenty, sometimes you get sleepy. You can't want to eat all of this food and then go to study because you will be sleeping, you won't be able to concentrate. Try to eat some food, try to eat vegetable things that can help your brain. Try to eat some of those things, you know. Don't eat no big stuff and then try to study. It's not going to work. You're going to fall asleep.
Some people study best in the morning period and some people study best in the night. You have to determine which time period is best for you to study.
And your brain most active.
Yeah.
And I just want to add a little, I wouldn't say secret, but you know, our ancestors taught us things that is so, it seems trivial, but it's magnanimous in importance. The blessing of your parents.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a Odu Irosun Odi that says, the load that I cannot lift. May my mother, may my father assist me to lift it.
I love that.
If I says that when you meditate on the love and the respect of your parents, and you invoke their Ori by your Ori, connecting with them and calling out for them spiritually, whatever it is you may be going through, their Ori will help you to overcome whatever hurdle. But you must connect with them. So hence why, you know, they say in the morning, you look for them, you make sure you have a good relationship with your parents. Because as much as it is, the people who do well are those whose parents are instrumental in their lives.
Yes.
And then, so
I want to just stick a pin there with that, because some of us do not have the facilities of having a good parent around them. Some of our young people are literally growing themselves.
Yes.
I understand that.
Yeah, but for those that
what I'm saying is, I understand that the aspect of parenting may not be the same from home to home. But the foundation of it is, your parent may be not even speaking with you, or they may not be in a position to show you that love and affection, but you as a child do what you have to do for them. Because
it's not about them, it's
about what. Remember, they are your first gods. Your mother is your first god. Your father is your first god. Because without them,
you wouldn't be here.
So you connect with them. It have some people who would say, see me, I do want nothing to do with my mother, nothing to do with my father. But if you go to do any ever, it would not be accepted. Because you have put barriers in place by not connecting with your parents. And what elevation is. Sometimes we have to strip ourselves of certain things that hold us back.
Yes.
Sometimes your parents brought you in the world and they have done their part to let you feel a particular
and
experience.
you choose your parents with their company.
Yeah. Sometimes the experience that you get from them, you had to undergo that to teach somebody else. What impact?
I want to be the devil's advocate on this program.
Yes.
And being the devil's advocate, I want to lobby for the children who are abandoned. I want to lobby for the children whose parents are dead, who don't know their parents at all. Those children who are in children's home, because remember we had a session with the St. Jude Home for Girls, right? And we did a session with them,
bring them back.
right? And those young people, some of them don't know who their parents are.
You know, but their parents will be the persons taking care of them.
So what I'm saying is
so
that
I don't think he means just bloodline parents.
No,
but what you see as your parent.
Right, but what I want
to
transmit to the listening public is that sometimes you become the extended parent in the community.
Yes.
Right? Because you may not, these young people may not have anybody to lift them up, may not have anybody to give them a pencil case. However, if you are in the community, and remember our Odu for this year says that we that are in the community needs to go out into society and start doing stuff and stuff. This, we could use this opportunity to, okay, let's buy a pencil case. It's like $5 or $10 when they have the rubber, the pencil, the eraser and stuff, and give them it to go to write the exam. We have to become those surrogate parents for those children who don't have parents.
No, that is, that is the bridge that extends to those who don't have, and it's 100% correct. Because sometimes you may choose a parent to come in the world, but you are connected to that child in a divine way. But it is still incumbent on the adults in that circle to impart the because if a child doesn't know their parent, it's not the end of the world. But you could still remember here what someone brought me here, but you have to accept it, and you as a surrogate, or you as that elder, or that point of influence, you give them that courage.
And that's where the areas are important, and then helping the community, you know. People need to understand that is what
because the Baptist church used to do that a lot, you know. When they have Thanksgiving, is the whole community used to
what you mean? How much Thanksgiving? I go on here, you know who person.
I don't even know the people.
I leave it to me and my sister. But that is where the Elis now, as Dylan and Shaka were saying, the Elis have to come together in your community. You're supposed to help your community. Not everything is about money, but if you could fit in as a parent, if you could help a child with a homework, if you could contribute somehow, because we are all part of the universe, and we all contribute to the universe.
That is why I'm going to touch on this question here by Makila. She says, if they don't have the money to do such ritual with a reputable Babalawo or Yanifa, what can they do on their own? Is there a specific prayer they can use for this at home?
Yes. It's the prayer of sincerity. It's the prayer of sincerity. You don't have to do no sort of scene or no sort of show. The prayer of your heart. The ancestors know that we are English speakers here.
Yes.
The ancestors know what we lack and what we need to get. The prayer of sincerity is the only prayer that breaks down all barriers.
Yes.
So money, yes, we need money to do certain things. But you do things with sincerity. You can have all the money, have a big prayers.
Yes.
And you hold up on a Spain.
Nothing.
You hold us
no.
out.
Nothing.
With your prayers manifest.
But Shaka, but when we look at it, right, in every municipality, every borough, every area, there's an Ili or a Pali.
Yes.
When you look in the west, you have Ile Dumari by Ulatule, Masatunje down there.
Yes.
When you look in Tong, you have up on the hill by you guys.
Shango Bakusum
you have by your
grandmother and them.
By your grandmother and them. They have your Moja Shrine.
You
know? And then you go Shaguanas, you have by Ojuba by Baba the Lon. You have Otura Meji in Arima. You have as far as Tableland. You have by you have by Gok and them. You have in Claxton Bay. You have in Santa Flora by Baba Shaka. You having Princess Town, and I could go on because it's a feast goer, and you could go on and on. However, reputable, and this is where I'm not bashing no one, but we all want title and we all want to be in charge. But if you say he's a chief and you're calling yourself a chief, there are responsibilities that go with it. Because if you govern an area and you are in charge, the people supposed to come to you, supposed to go to the people, and as the Udu for this year says, we need to go to the people.
Yeah.
We need to go to the people. And watch me.
But let me just put in one thing. I like to just chuck a little something in here.
That's very good.
No, because one of the things is how the community see us. That is a critical thing, and the behaviors that we portray. Because let me tell you something, that you might have the word of thing given out. They're not going to send their children there based on behavior and stigmatization. So therefore, what is this calling and employing us to do as Orisha devotees? Character.
Iwapile.
Exactly.
Which is a lifelong initiation.
You understand? When you look at the feast and you go to the feast of today, even when somebody get with somebody, and this just piss me off. I watch it are people wearing ED and LK and things like that style, and this that frustrate me, because I really walking down you that see somebody that ED and LK.
And they don't know the response.
The person passed me like if I was a ghost. I pinch myself to see if I alive. You understand? And where are we going? When you go, why is Arisha don't come around me? I go do you something.
Yes, you see that?
Listen, you see that statement you just said
that
there?
That is what this messes up.
I spoke about this just last week with my sister. And I feel like, when I was talking to her about it, I said, I feel like I say this all the time. Why do we constantly use Orisha as a means to justify bad and terrible behavior?
That is my...
Why is it never, I accomplished this today? Thanks. All the times. It's always me. When you do something positive, it's me. It's yourself. It is the human being. It is this spiritual being having a human experience right now. But for anything bad, Orisha this and Orisha that. And is the Oshun in me? Is the issue in me?
Don't blame Oshun.
Is the Ogun in me? Is the this and that in me? You're blaming Ogun for your bad temper and your disgusting attitude.
And Oshun for your...
And your way to fly off the rails. And Oshun for your promiscuity.
Yeah.
But you're not going to blame yourself. But anything good happen,
it's me.
That is me.
But this is why, this is why we have this show and many other shows and different foundations to change the mindset, not of people who don't know about Orisha, but people inside of the faith, because I just even see me not so.
This is one of the legs,
you know what I mean? We have to be the example that we want.
This is why one of the reasons why the foundation was formed to speak about things that nobody don't want to talk about.
If I clearly says don't discriminate and respect other people's views, and we just try to preach, to bring forth on this program here, is to let people know we don't segregate and we don't discriminate no other religion. No. We respect each and everyone's for their own choice, for their own belief. That is Ifa.
Yes.
And we really need to capitalize. I mean, we go in places, it's happening, because when you hear people talk about Shango and Orisha, them that do blood and them that, I have never gone nowhere yet and drink no blood or see no human. Ifa clearly says about human sacrifice, but these people, let's say, we enter you where?
Remember, ignorant say things that they don't have facts upon. And even to add to what Sister Ogunke is saying too, that a lot of people like to associate negativity with the Orisha, with the Irumale and the ancestors. But our first Udu, Ejiyogbe, speaks about 401 Irumale coming to planet Earth. And before they came to planet Earth, it was divined for them that when they are going into this earth, they must not commit evil acts. So even from our teachers, from the Irumale, the Orisha, that first came to earth, and whose foundation we inhabit today, what was said to them in Ejiyogbe was be truthful on the earth.
Nice.
And when you are truthful, you wouldn't do evil.
Yes.
Iweri tells us, if you scatter ashes, it will fly back on you, it will blow back on you. So it says that if you are evil, that will come back to you. I mean, some people might say, well, here what? I could do something in the cover of darkness under 4 eyes. My eyes and the person who are committed it to. But whatever you did at that point in time, it will live in your house.
Yes.
Even if you are a spiritual person
Yes.
and you are doing people's spiritual wickedness, they said that in Ifa, the person who taught you what you do to an innocent person, part of that would live in your house as a teacher.
Exactly.
It would live in you, the sender's house.
Yeah.
And whatever you did to, it would also live in the house of your generation to come.
Amen.
So it tells us
good you do with the follow you
in
do the back you do the follow you.
Ogbe Irete, whatever you do, it is so serious. We have to treat life delicate. Now, I always state here, we are not here to try and sound pious, as if we are without sin. But every time we come here, it's a reinitiation into the words of what we speak here. Because, I mean, we are humans, and we err at times. But it's always important that you could have a brother or a sister to pull you up where you go wrong. And that is why Ifa is not about individualism.
No.
Even though we all have our individual destiny, it's our people around us that keep us in line. Because when you come off the initiation mat and they say go and reinitiate yourself, it's the community who will sometimes remind you of your taboo. They say, hey boy, you know, it was said that you cannot be eating fish. Put down that. So the people who we are around, it's so important. If I says develop good neighborliness with your community, with people around, not that you are being frontish. You develop good neighborliness. You tell people good morning, good afternoon. You develop good things, because when we are not at home, who is watching for us? It's our community, it's our neighbors. It's we neighbors.
And it's in that way Ifa manifests that Ifa can mend this broken home.
Sure, facts.
But take this call.
Only way we could do that.
I have a call coming in for you. Abora boy aboshishe.
It's such a pleasure to hear these young people speak, and they have a role to play that is so important. An educator, you impart knowledge, and you nurture minds. You form minds, you know. That is so very important, and the society always owe a debt of gratitude to a teacher. But there is something that I worry about. Besides the most recent rant we heard from a teacher telling the children that they're no good and they would be up to nothing, and the rant that went on it was public not so long ago, if you all would remember. And I have been hearing about things like that even when my son was at school. There are teachers that are in the school of our people, African people, and they've some sort of plan there to disrupt and to denigrate and to bring down the African children. This is something that, as far as I know, is real. And we have to watch out for that with our children. We have to watch out for it. So I am hoping that all these things you all are clear about, your eyes are open and understanding the role you all have to play as the other parent. The parent, when the child leaves the home and going to the school, he's going to another parent. And we owe you all a debt of gratitude. But please watch out for these children where this is concerned. This is real. I have spoken with teachers who have told me, well, listen, this has been going on in my school for the longest while. There's a particular teacher and so on and so on. And sometimes by the time that she's through with them, who ain't dropping out is who, that kind of a thing, you know. So I am just asking you all to be very vigilant with our cares. Thank you very much.
Thank you. That is so true. I remember a particular primary school my mom used to teach at. I love my mommy. Hi, mommy. Yes. So, and one of the things that she said that there was some East Indian teachers, and I think they were listening to. Their idea was that African children cannot learn.
Yeah. That's
And they purposely used to belittle the children. They purposely never used to teach the children.
Yes.
They never used to do it. They didn't care. They only cared about was making the salary. They didn't care because it was our children. But you know, again, let's not dwell on the past and moving forward. More of our people need to be in the schools. We need more African teachers in the schools who care for our people. We can only, I mean, that is that we need to take over our village. So we have to get our people in there. I alone, I trying. You know, I surrounded with plenty of my cousins. And I just be fighting my little battle. That is my little battle. That I be fighting on a daily basis to my people. And people don't know that. You understand what I mean? I am surrounded with my cousins. But I just try to help my own little by little by little. And I need more people who have that mindset. You know, and one of the things of our community have a problem, we like to fight on one another. We need each other because, let me tell you something, they became strong. All the other races became strong because they stick together. And we need to start to do that because they sticking together to bring us down bit by bit. And when we reach in a position where we can help we own, it's a fight up, it's a this up, it's a that up, it's a this up. We need more of our people in positions. And when you are in position, help your people. Get in the schools, you see what's going on with our people. We don't want them teaching we children. We want to teach we own children. So we trying to open a little school maybe. Will you send your children there?
You are going to.
Okay, sorry. I am sorry. I apologize. But then, you know, we open something and say, I don't send my children because we always have a perception that nothing black is good.
Yeah.
You know? So that is just my sense on
and
it.
Odin Meiji, Ifa says, you put one brick,
right.
put another brick,
Yeah.
another brick, and bit by bit, that brick will build a house.
Yes.
So sometimes we may not see the picture clear from where we sit.
Right.
But maybe next few years, once that foundation is down,
built, yes.
you're making sure. Because as he knows, this program was first started by the elder Baba Aaron Falami. The program was, I think, midnight, and you come after, and
you wouldn't believe.
It started somewhere before.
It started as simple as I come in here because, you know, on a Friday I play soca, on a Sunday I play reggae, you know, and I came here, I was playing R&B on a Monday. I really love about thing, you know, thing. And a day I just decide, you know, okay.
Right.
Okay. And I build, and I spoke with an elder, you know, I used to visit Oshun Meiji, meet my brother Shaka, I go on a feast and watching him go and I say, see?
Yeah, I see Monday.
And this was the work of Olodumare. Just as Iyaje, she has a feminine child. We are the cultural aspect to bring the people together, especially on prime time radio and during this critical time. And you wouldn't believe, this Ifa Orisha program does get the amount of stab and fight. And all we just try to do, I just tell Shaka and the systems, I don't want to be no Babalawo. I good as being an Olorisha doing my thing, learning about Obatala, I good, I go my feast, I enjoy myself. And this is my destiny, what Olodumare has for me. This is my work. As I don't want to fame. I mean, it has come.
Fame that's
I gone to press last week and a little girl see man, she started screaming, look him. I was telling Shaka, I was like, okay. You know, that is not me. That is not me. It's about bringing it true to people because we have been so stifled and put in our corner. Now is the time for us to really come out and take advantage of what is going on. We are not...
And stop stifling each other as well.
As simple as they say, you know, it have too much fight. some people doing these things for likes on Facebook.
Yeah.
I mean, you do something on your own. Don't use spirituality to look for lights. I want to take this call here. Abu Rabo, Abu Shishi.
Blessed evening to the brothers and sisters in the studio. Love and respect everyone. Now, I have a question here. A brother was trying to tell me Baptists and Hindu have almost the same similarity. I differ to that. I find in my consciousness, Baptist and Shango have similar similitude. What is your point on that? And the next vibe now is to the sister there. She's consciously enough to recognize the identification of African. We need to teach our own. Our children need to be taught by African men and women to get a better flow of ourselves. We cite it in class how the different ethnic teachers was noisy, ignorant, distorted. And he ain't even interested most of them. And nowadays they have a set of women in the school. Hardly have men as teachers. And most of them is Indian, hardly have African teachers to teach our African children. So we need to do more in our community. Thanks for
my brother, will you repeat the first question?
No, the brother was telling me now Hindu and Baptist have the same spirituality in worship. So somehow or the other, but I seem to differ to that because I am Baptist spirituality. And in my conversation, it didn't show any other sign at all. I cited more Shango. I do cite Hindi. But I leave it there because I know it's orthodox. Anything could happen. We handle all of them. Because in my faith, we do Chinese, Indian, everybody. So, it was no news for me. Alright?
Thank you, my brother. Thank you for your contribution. You know, he's always on the show. Every program I do, he calls in. You know, he's a good one. He's a very good person. You know, so we are going in the right direction.
There's something
one of the things that I'm glad you all talk about is the fight down. And as the foundation, we talk about that cannibalistic nature that we have in the community where we eat our own. Raw. For no good reason.
Turn up our next word to use it.
We are cannibals. We are cannibals.
I'm telling you, from the time you see the members of our own community, especially the young ones who trying and seeing and
they're bringing up things since 1942.
Listen, they just wait for you like Kobo, you know. Like if you're dying already, you know how Kobo when they sense an animal going and die, they just wait.
No, but listen.
That's what is happening.
But remember,
a great leader, and I will say this.
It's true.
A great leader creates other leaders. Right? Because we're not here to turn stone.
Exactly.
Right? And yes, you want to leave your legacy. I understand a lot of people I understand some humans, you know. They want to leave a legacy. They want to be famous. But the gifts that you have, God gave you gifts. Only gifts God gave us is to be service unto each other. It's to serve one another. It's to help one another.
But if this program wasn't good,
the universe.
It would have been stopped already.
Yeah. It's not about me or you.
That's the nature we have.
And sometimes they might be given a mantle to do something. But as the Christians say, God is no respecter of person. So if you don't do it, if your thing will get done, it will get done.
Yes, it's not by you.
It might be he might give you the mantle to do, but it has to be done.
And it is passed on.
You understand? Yeah. So sometimes, and that's why I always tell people, age has nothing to do with it. It has to do with obedience. It has to do with resilience. Mm-hmm. It has to do with you coming to fulfill your destiny, whatever it might be.
Have a caller here.
Hello. Yes, good night, Arafia. You see, we have to understand that the original African lived in unity and was strong. But because of the brainwash of Willie Lynch, who said it is to set in order to control his slaves, just put them, set up differences, height, color, everything. So Bob Marley say, emancipate yourself from mental slavery. So each individual has to make a conscious effort to control the mind and not let us be conditioned according to how people would have us. And one way of doing that is by discussion like this, what you all have in here, reading, looking at documentaries, factual things to help enrich the mind. Because, you know, in life, you have the body, the mind, and the spirit. The body needs food, clothing, and shelter, and so on. So we must make a conscious effort to live in peace and unity, because it is the individual responsibility for the collective good. And then we could move on from there with, you know, discussions as how we all having and so on. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the contribution.
Yes, you are welcome.
Masatunji says here, according to Elder Agba Professor Dr. Yusuf Ben Chokanan, all religions find their roots and bases in theology. In Al-Kibilani's sacred science. You know?
I just wanted to hear about the cannibalistic vibration and what the sister here was saying too. Even in our sacred corpus, our Ifa teaching in Ogbeate, Ifa tells us that sickness is not just physical, you know. Some of it is emotional, it is mental, it is spiritual. And Ifa defines sickness as the inability to move to that next level. So sometimes when we speak about healing in the community, a lot of healing needs to be done through Ebo, through us paying obeisance to the ancestors, doing libation to cool certain energies so that we could rise above certain things. Because sometimes, see, the foundation off and going down the road, and then the cannibals start. But we have to do what we have to do, not to get sick, not to get weary, because the moment you get weary, you leave what you're supposed to do and you stick at one level. So even with some concepts in the tradition that I met, I wasn't comfortable at once. But when you started to have conversations and you started to do your consultation and you have your Ebo to be done, these things prepare you for where you have to go. A person would come and they would say, I cannot remember certain things. But if you stick to what is the blueprint that the Orisha have for you, do your Ebo. Sometimes you might think that it's expensive, but you make that sacrifice and you will get back.
Well, I want to extend on what you're saying there by saying that even deeper than that, it comes from self-awareness. And when the Odu falls for a person, right, it outlines the characteristics of the person. It also tells you what to stay away from, what not to do, and what the case may be. So one of the things too, to move away from that attack mode, and you're always that trauma response that we always responding out of trauma, that we want to fight down this one and we want to stop this from happening, is to become more self-aware. It's to become more self-aware. The Odu will tell you bits and pieces of yourself.
It would. But you see, this world we live in, the physical and the spiritual, the negative and the positive is just right there. So a person could be self-aware. They could be going down that road of self-awareness. But the moment you let your Ori go, of course, you would even sacrifice your proper judgment in the end. Because you let your Uri go off, of course.
And I want to say one thing too. You say you talk about giving your ebo. Sometimes when people say ebo is just a ritual item, it might be the whatever thing and thing. But sometimes I'm not going and say that. I have seen daffers done.
And fail.
And this what those say not fail.
Sorry. Go ahead.
The daff. It is because they would have done the ebo, but also the Baba or the Awo doing it would have read. Some of them read, some of them memorize and say, here's what. If I say you need to fix certain characteristic behavior.
Your behavior.
Just last week the
and they ain't do that part, no.
Yeah.
All they say, but I buy, let me just say 10 goat for a cow.
More than that.
Yeah.
All the palm oil use.
And then they blame the owl.
And then they blame the palm. We going by here and they're going all over the
All
place.
and sundry. Running from pillar to post.
From pillar to post by mother this and papa this and baba this and this and that. And you ain't change your ways.
But that is
That's what I mean by
foundation, Ifa.
Exactly.
And if I tell you the first thing I have to do is have more respect for your elders or whatever, and you ain't do that yet, you know. But you're going again and then Harry down you will tell you, but Abban didn't know what you're doing. You're going to spend the next set of money and they're going all over the place until they go out press and Orisha manifest and start to hit you. So your heart, sorry, your heart, darling. Your heart. And you're like, we took it, Papa, and give you everything.
Exactly.
Your heart,
what people
your
tend
mind.
to forget is that when you go to Ifa, regardless of what you know or what you think you know, Ifa is going to break you down. To build you back up to exactly what it is you asked for. Don't vex because when you ask for KFC, you get KFC and your mother come home with chicken for you to fry, you know. Don't vex. Because you could go and buy KFC and get sick, but they're telling you you're going to get sick. They just say you're going to get sick, so I go bring your chicken instead.
We're not supposed to be in that.
We forget the breakdown, which is why I just always say something I've learned throughout life thus far. Be the person you want, you wish you had. Be the person you wanted.
To be, yes.
Be the influence you wish that you had and you wanted, because you're not going through it alone. Somebody else is there with you. They have been there with you and they're waiting on someone like you. They just probably don't have the resources that you have to be able to make this step and say, listen, I'm going to do better. So be the person you want. Be the person you wish you had.
In fact, they call that paying it forward.
Yep.
You know, whatever benefit that came to you, you have to pay it forward. And when you teach that child then will pay it forward and do the same thing.
And this is why I want to say again, as Shaka said, all religions, no matter whatever you want to call it, teach love and doing unto others as you do unto yourself. And we need to start that healing. I really believe that our people really need some mental healing.
Trauma.
And if you see somebody young and they're coming up and they're trying, you know, help. Help.
Or say nothing at all.
Oh, what is it? Yes.
Because if you have nothing good to say, don't say nothing at all. Be silent.
You know, so I mean, I really hope that everything...
Evaluation of the situation, and we'll know the best decision.
So
let's get back to the...
So we have approximately 3 minutes because we're going to play some songs and some videos, especially to the theme of the discussion tonight. So anything in closing from you three ladies?
Well, I really hope some of the things that we discussed tonight, I really want to reiterate the fact that education is important to our people. Reiterate the fact that we can call on the Orishas to help our children with education. Different Orishas have different portfolios and functions that we need to make our children aware of. The importance of parents saying positive things, praying for their kids, children preparing for exam, understanding that you have to apply yourself. And you know, remember to clear your environment, prepare yourself. You must study to pass, and you must plan in order to succeed. And you have the spiritual part where, you know, you can do different daffers, different ebos, and make sure that you are indeed successful. Ashe. And I pray that our ancestors may continue helping us achieve what we set out to do. Ashe. That is.
And the final word, I would like Shaka to take the final word, which is to pray for our students of the country who are about to write exams.
Anything?
Yeah. Just to implore the students and parents as well. So just take your time. Everything doesn't need to be rushed. Doesn't need to be
patience.
A lot of patience, and make sure that you have balance. And if you need a day, just one whole day, to say no work today, I need to refocus myself, then take it, because sometimes that's all you really need. So just be patient with yourself, be kind with yourself as well.
Shaka, 2 minutes and then we go into the video. Let's close off.
We call upon Olodumare, our creator. We call upon our Ori, our divine intelligence. We call upon the Ori of our mothers, the Ori of our fathers, the Ori of our ancestors, those who came before and those who brought us into this material and spiritual world. We call upon Arun Mela, we call upon Yeye Oshun, we call upon Shango, we call upon Orishanla, we call upon the Bogbo Orisha, and we demand from this universe success. May negativity, may sickness, may death, may all negative forces go away to a place that cannot do our children any harm. May we as the adults be protected. May we give our children that foundation for them to stand upon. And as our children embark on this new cycle in their life, in their existence, may they be counted in those that are successful. May the prison doors be shut to our children. May our children not have issues that would have them end up on the streets. May our children turn away from the drug pushers. May our children turn away from the gang violence, from the 6 and the 9, and all of these negative vibrations that are there to distract them. We call upon you, Kabesi Shango, Olukuso Lalu, Aribata Shegun, to bring justice to our people, to bring justice to our children, and even those of our brothers and sisters who are incarcerated unjustly. We pray that victory meet them, and their families would be able to reunite with them one day. We pray for our elders in this land, and may our elders continue to be our source of inspiration. We call upon strength for all Ilays and Palays, that they continue to be a safe haven for our children, for the community, and even those who are hungry. May our Ilays and Palays be able to feed them. May our people rear their own animals. May our people plant their own food, because the foods that are out there, it is not in the best interest of our children. We call upon you, Orisha Oko. Orisha Oko, inspire our people. Inspire their Ori to go back to the land. Let our people stop be afraid of the land. Go back to the land, rear our own animals, because what is selling in those mass production warehouses, it is only chemicals, and it is not in our best interest. Orisha and ancestors, please hear our humble prayer. We ask this and we demand this from the universe. We demand success. We demand success. We demand success. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe.
Very nice. We demand it. I love that. We're not begging, we demanding.
Not easy in this place, you know. Una no, as me and the father say.
What?
Una
no.
Una no. We buying them keys.
From across the continent that someone described as dark.
about in the black man's mind. All about reminding us as how beautiful we are. For the near of fire, yeah. Oh, the clothing line features t-shirts, checks, polos and shirts. Oh, dashiki, lady v-neck, lady tank top, and baby jeans, yeah. Dresses and
expressed are not necessarily